I know that when it comes to doing something new, and for many of us in this room here today, entrepreneurship is a new avenue that we're taking. The brain, the ego will come up with so many reasons as to why it could possibly fail, which is okay. And I say that it's okay because I don't want us to fear those thoughts. I want us to welcome those thoughts and, in fact, hold space for them. Welcome to Mindset Mastery Podcast, where we explore the intersections of motherhood and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Julissa Edwards, and in each episode, we're diving into mindset, emotional regulation, and the real stories of mom entrepreneurs navigating both business and family life. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to another episode on Mindset Mastery with yours truly, Julissa Edwards. I am super excited about this twist and spin of an episode. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you guys inside access to what it looks and feels like to be inside one of my coaching containers. We've never really done this before, I don't believe. And it's a beautiful opportunity to see how I coach and teach in real time. And today's topic is specifically about overcoming the fear of failure in business. This is such an important topic, whether you are a newbie trying to get into business or you're a little bit more seasoned. The starting, the maintaining, it's all challenging. Overcoming the fear of failure in business is such an important topic to speak about because, as I always mention, business is 80% mindset, 20% strategy, and your resiliency and your strength to know that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you can figure things out, that you will be successful. As long as you keep putting fuel to the fire and you just don't give up. Easier said than done. There's so many internal complexities that can come from running a business. As a mother and an entrepreneur, those two experiences for me have been the two things that have caused me to evolve most. And I'm sharing that a little bit because it requires a lot of self-reflection. It requires a lot of self-work where you will realize, I'll keep it on the topic of entrepreneurship, that the little things that happen in entrepreneurship that tug at your emotional strings are really there to show you more about self and less about the actual problem at hand. When you can recognize and learn to have healthy distance from the problems that you are having in business and not take things so personally, you will be so much more readily available to succeed in that arena. And it's not perfect, even though I know all these things and I teach all these things, I'm still embodying it all the time. And there are moments or chapters in my journey of entrepreneurship where that is either easier or it's a little bit more challenging. And so this lesson is literally for anyone who is having negative thought patterns or doubts or self-confidence issues, self-esteem issues when it comes to, can I really build a business? Can I keep this business running? What am I not seeing that is causing me to have a standstill? So I really, really, really hope you enjoy this conversation, this viewpoint of me teaching, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think of it. So without further ado, have your pencils and paper ready, and I hope you love this episode. Today's training is all about overcoming the fear of failure in business. Can you guys write in the chat what sometimes holds you back from going all in your business? And or what are the things that come up for you mentally? What is the inner voice or inner critic saying that makes you doubt perhaps your ability to be great at what you're setting forth to do? I know that when it comes to doing something new, and for many of us in this room here today, entrepreneurship is a new avenue that we're taking. The brain, the ego will come up with so many reasons as to why it could possibly fail, which is okay. And I say that it's okay because I don't want us to fear those thoughts. I want us to welcome those thoughts and, in fact, hold space for them. right? If our brain is saying, well, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know, because life might be unpredictable, I'm pivoting so much, I have so much overthinking, this is causing me stress. It's like, okay, we must be doing something new that is rattling our nervous system. And that's okay. That's actually more than fine because it's teaching us that we are indeed trying to do better for ourselves. We're taking new actions to call in new results. If you want to stick to your 9 to 5 and have that version of safety, but it's understand that it's only safest because it's what you know. And there's obviously a reason why all of you here today are venturing into, if not already, an entrepreneur. There's a strong reason within why you're like, you know what, this is scary, but I really want to do it. Or before you actually did it or are doing it, you had thoughts of like, what could be great if I did become a successful entrepreneur? What would my life look like? Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat here. I had a moment of panic yesterday and overthinking, and today I'm just taking a moment to just relax and breathe. Perfect. It happens. Even just regular life, that happens, right? You just got to breathe. Take a moment, reflect, sit. A limiting belief for me, I guess, might be I might get it wrong. You will get it wrong. Let me stop in the tracks right now. You will get it wrong. I've gotten it wrong so many times. You have to get it wrong to get it right. If you go out there trying to think that I have to do all this prepping and planning to get it right, I mean, good luck. Seriously, good luck, right? Like it doesn't matter. You just have to put it out there. And then what with the feedback that you gain, then you can make moves. Say it again, Julie. So yeah, exactly. Yes, you will fuck it up. Seriously. That is the only way that you learn. I remember, I think it was like 2.5, almost 3 years ago in business, I had a beautiful mentor who was actually a colleague of mine and then became my mentor. We both started off as, I guess you could say, like equals in the same mastermind, and she ended up blowing up her business. She was doing really, really well. And she ended up mentoring me, and it was such a good mentorship experience. And she held me during one of my worst years of, I don't want to say of my life, but it was really hard. But it was definitely my worst year in business. Definitely my worst year in business. And I was getting so defeated. I was almost getting mad at her because she kept telling me to do all these things, and I'm like, yo, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, right? And she kept reminding me of this is sometimes the grunt work of entrepreneurship. What else can you be doing? Because there's so many different wheels to turn in the world of entrepreneurship, especially in the beginning, solopreneurship, or even if you're like me, where I have a small team of three, which is so helpful. There's still a lot that we got to do as a team of three, right? And so, she kept reminding me of other things to do that wasn't only to produce revenue. It was like, okay, yes, money's low right now, but what can you be doing over here? And my mind was so fixated. I'm like, I don't know why you're telling me to do all these things because this is not working, right? And she kept telling me, she was like, you're attaching your ego too much to the outcome. And she was so right. When we fail in life, or let's just say in business, we tend to take it as a personal attack when in reality, it really has nothing to do with you. You have a service that you are providing to others. And whether it's landing or not, whether you're getting clients or not, whether people are paying your price or not, whether people are showing up or not, it's all data. If we can shift our perspective to then think, get curious. I wonder why that's happening. Set the reminders, set this. How come we're having this many people show up? Hmm, I just had my first sales call and I didn't close. I wonder what happened. I wonder how I could have been better. Detaching the ego part, it is. It's honestly a skill set that you're going to have to learn how to master in entrepreneurship. Again, I go back to saying, for me personally, success in entrepreneurship is 80% mindset, 20% strategy. Okay, you have to have the guts and the ability to show up time and time again without getting defeated. And even if you are getting defeated, like just show up anyway. Try again, right? And trying your best to have a detached look of what's going on. You know, a lot of times in entrepreneurship in the beginning, I find people, it's a very like heart-centered thing, which hey, it should be. I love what I do. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love what I do. And at the same time, as I've matured in my 5 years of entrepreneurship, I've learned that some things also need more of a masculine lens to it, where it's just your KPIs, your data, your metrics of like what's working and what's not. Yes, I love doing, let's say, my team right now is overlooking our YouTube account. I'm like, what's happening over there? Should we keep doing this? Should we cut it? You know? And I'm not going to make a decision off of my feelings. I'm going to make a decision over 1 to 3 months' time of me measuring the data. How many views are we getting? How many shares are we getting? How many people are coming over to my Instagram account from YouTube? Like we are tracking. I'm not making decisions from an emotional, personal standpoint because this business isn't about me. Your business isn't about you, respectfully. Okay, you are here, you have a God-given talent, also backed up by professional um years of doing what you're doing, even if it's outside of what your entrepreneurship is, right? You have this gift, this talent that you're able to do things for other people, a service, right? Detach it from yourself to understand that if you want to be an entrepreneur that impacts many lives, which I hope you do if you're here, right? For me, I'm helping moms create a business, right? It can't be about, oh, nobody's showing up. Like it's like, okay, what time is better for y'all? Right? It's like, okay, how can I pivot? Okay, to like, okay, cool. This isn't working. What is? Okay, great. Like, you know how many times in my DMs people are reaching out to me and I'm still asking because you will always have to refine this in your messaging and branding. It's like, how did you find me? What would you like me to help you with? Literally the other day, I had a long combo in the DMs with a new potential client that wants to join BBB, Balancing Business and Babies. And I was like, okay, great. How did you hear about the program? All the things. And I'm learning more about her. And I'm like, that's not what my program is about at all. That's not what my program is about at all. And that's fine. If I didn't ask those questions, I wouldn't know what the masses are thinking when I am advertising said program. She still needs my help. She's going to become a client elsewhere and somewhere else in my business, right? But if I didn't ask those questions, I wouldn't know. And if I didn't ask those questions and become curious and not offended, I now know what to fix moving forward, right? Everything is data, and you can't have data if you don't try. You can't have data if you're not putting yourself out there and doing the scary thing over and over and over again. Okay? Let's see what else we're saying here. Attaching the ego, that's definitely a new thing I've been understanding more with myself in my business. It's been so loud this week. You're learning, girl. Because the webinar is Friday and I'm like panicking that I have to tell myself this is my first time, so I'm going to mess up and I can learn and not let it be my defeat. Yes, you can also tell yourself that it's going to be fantastic. You can also tell yourself that no matter what happens, you're going to show up and show out and you're going to have a wonderful presentation. In college, I joined a sorority, and our founding mothers, if you will, 50 years ago, they came to give us a training. It was so special. And the one thing that I remember her telling us, one of our founding mothers, was when she first began the sorority. Now we have like over thousands of members inside. But when she was first starting, nobody showed up to her fucking classes. Nobody was showing up to her speeches. And the biggest takeaway that I took from her that day that she came to see us was even when no one showed up, she was dressed up, hair and makeup ready. Her and the other founders were in front of the podium teaching, even if it was one person, even if it was no people, because the people that were walking in the cafeteria, they could hear them, whether nobody was there or not, right? If somebody wanted to come in an hour into the program, at least there was something to join an hour in. right? You have to show up and show out every single time, even if you feel like nobody's watching. Trust me, somebody is always watching. You have to consistently show up and put your ego aside, even if it feels really ugly or grimy or like vulnerable. That's growth in any arena. Okay. Detaching from the ego, that's a sales pitch. It is. um okay, collecting data, yes, thank you for all that. Chin check. LOL. I need that as well. I'm here. I got my, you know what's funny, I literally just put on a back, we put sand in our boxing, we have like a boxing thing downstairs, and your girl's been going ham, and it's coming through my energy. um Asking questions, that's my new learning language in my business. Yeah, you got to ask questions. Thank you for the shift. I needed that. Beautiful. So happy you're taking things away from this. Okay, let me see what I have planned to speak to you guys all about today. Okay, so I kind of spoke about this. Let's redefine failure as feedback. Can you guys tell me in the ways that you failed? Let's talk about that. What ways have you tried and things have not worked out? So I can literally show you how you can learn from every experience. Okay, write in the chat something that you tried, it flopped, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's feedback, it's data. As you guys are writing that in the chat, I want to remind you, every setback provides valuable lessons to refine your approach. Both new and seasoned entrepreneurs can and should use failure as a guide and not a stopping point. Live collabs. Okay, did nobody join the live? Did it not go through? Cold calling, email, reaching out to people to get clients. Yeah, I've been there. Let's see. When you go live, when you do a webinar, anything of that sort, it takes time for your seed to be implanted, right? You're showing up over and over and over again with the same messaging, with your same energy, with your same gift, with your same love. And you have to trust the process that eventually somebody will convert. Eventually somebody will, and there are strategic ways to do this, but this is just the mindset portion of this training. You have to keep trying and showing up. You have to keep trying and showing up. The two people that joined, post a replay on your feed on Instagram. Somebody will watch. Even if it's just one person, you are going to be impacting lives, right? That's the goal here, right? Remember, detach the ego. Is the goal, are you going to get butt hurt because you didn't get a lead from that live? Or are you going to say, yes, I tried, I showed up, and that one person gained a lot from this? You know what I would do with that one person that showed up? I'd talk to them. Thank you so much for coming up to my live. You treat it like this is the best thing since sliced bread, because it is. Thank you so much for showing up to my live. I would love to hear what was your biggest takeaway. Connect, connect. Entrepreneurship, sales are all about connection. You have to talk to your ideal client to get to know more about them, even when they're not showing up. There's plenty of people still today who are like, yeah, this is not really for me. Okay, cool. Can I know more? Can I learn more why that is? And genuinely, I'm not trying to get them into my program. I want to know what made you join in the first place, that you thought you were a good fit, and why are you thinking it's not a good fit now? You learn so much from people. Sometimes it is their own limiting beliefs, and it's usually always about them and it's not about you, but it's still good data to learn. Oh, I'm going through a lot in my life. Oh, like, okay, you don't feel like business is feasible for you at this time. Understood. If you want to grow and grow through that, this is a perfect space for you. But if you can't do that right now in your life, listen, I can't force you. I can only lead you to the water. I can't force you to drink it. Okay? And there are so many other people that will benefit from my services. So I keep going. Not everyone will convert, and that's fine. Okay, you learn. Okay, let's see here. Cold calling, email, reaching out to people to get clients, and you have failed. Okay, have you taken notes on how you did that and why it failed? I have failed many, many times. There was a point in my business where I literally hired my husband to cold call all of my prior leads. We had like over 300. Any program that I did over the last 3 years, at that point, I was like, call everybody, say, yo, we got this new program, that's what we're doing, da, 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 whatever. Hot mess. Not one person converted. And that's fine.
I went back in afterwards and I said, "Hey, I had somebody from my team. It was my husband. I said, I had somebody from my team reach out, X, Y, and Z, and one of the women told me that what she had previously signed up for, she no longer feels distress about. So it didn't feel aligned or connected because I hadn't followed up with her in a long time. So what did that teach me? Before I make a sale, let me connect with my previous leads before I just throw a sale in their face, right? I wouldn't have known to do that unless I tried. I'm mostly putting myself out there in front of the camera. That's been my biggest learning curve, but I've been showing up. Yes. I've tried book club. They showed up for the first day for commitment, but no consistency in a group chat or scheduled meetings. Also not responding to my long messages and reflective questions. Yeah, that's okay. That happens, right? Look, in full transparency, you guys are in our free BBB WhatsApp community. Sometimes you guys don't answer. I don't take it personally, right? I've learned that when you give people options, they're more likely to pick one than just having open-ended questions. I've even learned that in my stories when I take polls. I use stories on Instagram all the time for data, for feedback. On my podcast page, I'll say, hey guys, we're gearing up for a new season. This is going to be the topic. What do you guys want to hear about? Sometimes I hear crickets and I'm like, oh, okay. So then I have to put a poll out there. And I'm like, okay, do you guys want to hear about anxiety and depression? Do you guys want to hear about manifestation? Do you guys want to hear about da da da? And then people will vote. For some reason, I don't know, it's just my audience. Other people could be different, but when I give people free reins to ask me anything, they ask me nothing. I don't know what it is, right? But if I give them, like, you can choose this, or this, then I'm getting feedback. And then again, when people are interacting with my polls on Instagram, I'm hitting them up via DMs. Thank you for the feedback. That was so informative. Could you tell me more about that? I am building community. I am building connection. I am building in strategy wise a possible future conversion. I tried to pursue Herbalife as a distributor and I feel like I failed, though I could keep trying. What I learned is that it's too much for me to learn and I already have a lane and my ego was attached to the outcome, money growing in the company, the idea that I had to invest money to make money. A lot of people become successful in Herbalife without attaching their ego to the outcome. Yeah. Listen, MLMs, Herbalife, what's the other one for hair? Monet. I've actually gotten hired to do trainings for the women inside or the people inside of Monet, mindset trainings, and people knock MLMs down a lot. It's just like another job. I don't knock anybody down. I don't knock anyone down who's trying. If you're trying, you're winning, right? And what I'll say about MLMs and what I've learned, there are different business models for different people. And you also just have to know what season of life you are in. In our paid mentorship, I have a module on that, knowing your season of life and knowing what kind of business model to take. Um, what I'll say about that is I've mentored a handful of people in business, and what I've learned is that not for everybody, but for some people, when you have a personal attachment to the thing that you are creating, you will sometimes care more about the outcome. When it comes to MLMs like Herbalife or Monet, for example, and again, I'm not shooting them down, a lot of times people get into it because they need money, because they're looking for an additional stream of revenue. And that's okay. I'm not knocking it. But the product that you are selling sometimes isn't, I mean, it's not your product, it's somebody else's. And so you're selling somebody else's thing. And that's where I sometimes see a disconnect. Um, But just giving you the other side of that story as well, sometimes when people do MLMs or things like that, or work a 9 to 5, it's easier for them to sell somebody else's product. They don't want to be the ones creating and doing all the things. They want to follow a script, they want to follow a package, they want to follow a plan. And that's also okay. What I'm telling you guys here is that you have to be in the business that gets you excited, that you have passion about, and that will keep you going long term. whether that's your own thing or an MLM, you don't know if you don't try. Now you're going to go forth with your own business and it'll be better. You have that insight already. And I'm sure you learned a lot from trying and failing in Herbalife. Okay. I feel that a lot in my stories, more activity there and connection there than in my actual posts and reels. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Instagram is also wonky. The algorithm, like there's so many things, like you just got to keep showing up. Different business models depend on the season of life. Yeah. It's also promoted as a potential stream of income and flexibility. Yes. Marketing is so important, you guys. Marketing is the things that you say are going to call in different people. And you don't know what's going to land or what's going to work or what's going to hit until you start selling. Take this as a key reminder for everyone in this training or anyone even watching the replay. People cannot know what you do as a service provider if you're not saying it over and over and over and over again. You have to tell people what you're doing in order to get sales. You have to share with your community, with your friends, your family, what it is that you're doing in order for people to associate that service with X person. Or else you're just a friend or a family member. I forget people don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what you do. No, listen. Right now for me in my community, my new neighborhood that I live in, I've been trying so hard to make it to these business meetings inside of my neighborhood. I'm always, I feel like this is a side note. They don't give me enough time to show up because when they give me the date, my calendar's booked. Anyway, um, I'm trying to show up to these meetings. I'm trying to get in there. There's like mad people in my neighborhood. I'm trying to get in there and show up and tell people what I do. And I'm gonna get there eventually, but no one in my neighborhood knows what I do. And I've told my neighbors, I even have some of my neighbors in this group. So a couple of people know, but not everybody knows. Not enough people know. And that's the goal. No matter how far you are in business, there's always more people to tell who you are, what you do, and who you serve, right? It becomes a part of you. Literally, when I show up to the park and I talk to other moms, I mean, that's my ideal client. You best believe that I'm not selling, but I am talking about my services if the conversation flows there naturally, organically, right? That you do like social media work. If you're going to restaurants or anything of that sort, like you can always talk about it. You can always mention that this is what you do, even to the server. Like it doesn't like everyone, like you never know who you're going to tell. They're going to be like, wow, you do that. Let me introduce you to blank. And then something happens potentially, right? You literally never know. Branding. That's why with people that like sometimes I want to do it in the future, make hats or t-shirts or apparel, like you're wearing it. My husband is he has just created a marketplace app. And so we just put stickers all over or a big magnet on our car. And people are looking and people are signing up. You have to brand and market what it is that you're doing. And in the most simplistic ways, it's just talking about it to everyone and to everybody and every person that you can in the most nonchalant, non-pressuring way. And if you fuck up and you are a little awkward sometimes, that's okay. You have to learn how to take those in strides, get feedback, and keep it pushing. Okay. I feel that timing is what I am learning and shifting from the mindset. I'm so awkward right now, but I love it. Yeah, it's fine. You know what I see when I see you showing up? I see someone who is committed. I don't think you're awkward at all. I see someone who is in their state of vulnerability. To be honest, I love baby entrepreneurs, the ones that are just starting because it is awkward and you are trying. And it's like, wow, you know what? How many people are looking at you and that are not trying? Yes, vulnerable and awkward as fuck. Right. I see you on Instagram putting together things for a mommy meetup. I love that. I love that. Yes, you're trying. So many people don't do that. Okay. All right, let me go with my second point here. I think I told you ladies, and maybe you know or you don't know, I went on an entrepreneurship show a year ago actually. And it was a great experience. I learned so much. I networked the shit out of that event. It was fantastic. And there was this guy who everyone would laugh at, to be honest. And I promise there's a good ending here. I don't ever want to laugh at anyone who's trying to do something new. He would show up so hard on Facebook and he would just, go ham on selling his product. And everybody would be like, yo, there he goes again, like kind of like being crazy because he would call himself a billionaire. He's like, I'm going to be the first self-made billionaire in my family. That's a big statement to call out. And you know why people were chuckling? Because it's a projection. They couldn't possibly fathom being the first billionaire in their families, maybe, right? And even though he looked crazy, right now he just signed over wholesale deals with different distributors for his product. Guess he's crazy enough to keep going and make it work, right? It's like, who's laughing now? Literally, so many people would be like, yo, he's at it again. I'm like, y'all are like, why are you wasting time on pointing the finger at somebody else? He's trying. He's trying. And now a year later, Delulu is the way. Yes, it really is. He manifested it. Yes, he did. Like you have to, entrepreneurship is definitely about being Delulu. It's like, you know what? No one's showing up, but I'm the best at what I do and I'm going to keep doing it. Yes. Yes, because eventually somebody will show up. I know I'm going to be successful because I'm crazy enough. Yes, absolutely. You have to be a little wonky to have this grit that, like, I believe in myself so much, and I'm just going to keep trying over and over and over again. Shift from judgment to impact, right? If you fear, so now on the other end, if you fear what friends, family, or strangers will think, it's going to paralyze you, right? You're going to spend too much time thinking, and that's anxiety. That's a form of anxiety. And what I always teach about anxiety is that you're making up stories for the unknown. You're putting together some context clues and then making up a story of what you think might happen. And with anxiety, it's usually bad. How something will fail, how something won't work out. And you have the power to create a story, Delulu, about things that will work out. And that can be just as impactful. You just have to choose which one you're going to fall into. Are you going to say the story that you're going to fail, or are you going to tell the story that you're going to do well and you're going to succeed and you're going to prosper? And you're going to change so many lives and you're going to become so filthy rich off of your product, off of your service, because you're helping so many people. In my business right now, we're doing completely new things in our funneling system. And honestly, I'm having so much fun. Before it used to be like, oh my God, this thing, it has to work. If it is not making my money, I'm not happy. Like I used to get so like uptight about things and I'm like, why is this not working? I remember my first year in business, my husband, we used to have a shared working space in our old home. And I hated it. I can't work with him. I love my husband, but oh my God, too much of a chatterbox. I'm like, I got work to do. And so anyway, we were sharing workspace and it was COVID, we were both working from home. And I was in my business at that time. And I remember by accident, not a big deal, but it was a big deal then for me. By accident, I sent everybody on my email list and I was just getting it geared up. I think I had like 70 people at that point, but they were strangers. Um, and I gave them all my home address by accident. Oh, I was so scared. I was like, fuck! Everybody knows where I live. And like when I panic like that, I don't say it. I'm just like panicking internally. And my husband saw me and I was like, fuck. And he was like, what? And I was like, no, oh my God, this is so bad. Just freaking out. And, I don't think anyone even saw it. It was when I was first learning how to create email campaigns and I was using Kajabi at that time, and Kajabi asks you what is your business address. That was my home. Then I knew to do a PO box instead, but it was on the bottom of everybody's email. Anyway, it was a mistake that I made. Yes, I freaked out and now I learned. And now I can be better for it. Okay. I've been there, LOL. I both panic inside and outside. I did that with my flow desk. I panicked and I deactivated the whole thing. Now you learn better. Yes, yes. That is all for me. 8:01, perfect timing. I got 10 minutes, 14 minutes for my next call. I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye for now. See you in the chat.
Alrighty, you guys. So, how was that? I hope you absolutely loved it. I hope this conversation gave you some clarity and, more importantly, permission to stop letting the fear of failure run your business. You are not alone in these feelings, and you definitely do not have to stay stuck in them. Your vision matters, your voice matters, and the impact that you are here to make, it is very, very much needed. It is in my highest intention and one of my greatest missions to allow people to see themselves for the light that they are. Every single human being was put here for a purpose. And no, not every single person is purpose is to hold a business or have a service-based offer for other people. But if that's you, and after listening to this recording, you thought, yeah, like, wow, this was so helpful. And let me be the reminder that your idea, your business idea, your service-based offer is so needed in this world. And it's what I love to do and nurture clients in. So if this training spoke to you and you're ready to stop overthinking, second guessing, waiting for the perfect time, and you know you are destined for more, you know you're a leader, you know you can do hard things, you know you have great ideas, you just need a little bit of mentorship to get you there, then balancing business and babies would be your next step. Inside this mentorship, we blend mindset, emotional healing, and strategy so you can finally build a business that fits your life as a mother and not the other way around. Alongside me having expertise in business in the online world for service-based businesses, I'm also a mom, as you probably know, right? I have 2 little ones, and I have consistently shape-shifted the way that my business looks in order to better fit my family lifestyle. And the beautiful thing about it is that it continues to change, and it will continue to change and evolve as my kids, when they go to school, when we have in the future spring breaks or summer vacations, my business will get to pivot, and the cadence and the amount of time that I see clients and how it runs and how my team supports me, that always gets to revolve around my family schedule and what I am prioritizing in that season of my life. And wow, what a blessing that is to have. So if you're ready to go from feeling scared to confident, or just dreaming to actually doing the damn thing because you know that you are capable of this, click the link in the show notes, apply, and then book a call to get on my calendar. You'll see that if and when you apply, or when you apply, you will be then transported to a video that lets you know what is next to come. And then after that, you will have a link to my calendar to schedule yourself. We can have a conversation about what is your business idea, how far along are you, what you need help in, and then we can determine if you're going to be a good fit for this program. I can't wait to get to know you. Let's build your dreams and business together. We can do this, and I'm so excited to support you. Until next time, I can't wait to reconnect with you all. If you absolutely love this episode, please leave us a review. It only helps this episode and podcast get to more ears and listeners just like yourself. We'll talk so soon. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me today on Mindset Mastery Podcast. I hope today's conversation inspired you to embrace your own journey of balancing motherhood and entrepreneurship. Remember, it's all about mastering your mindset to create a life of success and fulfillment in both areas. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more incredible moms just like you. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and mastering your mindset.